All right, well, thank you for coming back for another session.
Well, thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
Of course, we're always here for you when you need it. So I remember last session we talked about self-monitoring, which, as you remember, is kind of just noticing the times when you have the urge to drink and kind of making either a mental note or writing it down, just when you have those instances to kind of see a pattern. And I was just wondering how that worked for you, if you had any qualms about it, kind of what you thought of the experience.
Well, I mean, mentally, it's not very easy to think about it because you're kind of in the moment and you're just having fun.
Right.
I tried to write it down. I started to in the beginning, and then it just kind of, with time, it just kind of
went to the wayside.
Yeah, it went to the wayside, and I just didn't think of it as important as I probably should have. So mentally, I thought about it in the beginning. I kind of wrote it down in the beginning, and then as time went down, it just kind of, there wasn't a reminder there to kind of keep me on. There wasn't anything to keep me on track. No one was there to say, hey, do this. And my mind is in 20 different places. So
exactly. Being a senior in college and kind of being always on the go, it's really hard to do it the old brick and mortar way of like, oh, I have to write this down, carrying around a pen and paper with you all the time. So I did a little research after our last session, and just in case something like this did happen, I found an app that's on the smartphones, which actually you enter data over time, and it produces a line graph showing kind of how your mood increases or decreases. And you can put in as many entries a day as you want or as little, and you just kind of put in on a scale of 1 to 5, and it kind of has like little color coordination, and you can put Y. So I think that'd be a really good method of keeping track of your drinking on the go. And you can also set it like a notification. So if you might be going through the day and you haven't entered anything yet, a little icon can pop up and say, hey, you haven't entered anything yet. And that might be really interesting to see, like you said, sometimes you drink for different reasons. Like sometimes you're uncomfortable before doing homework or something that stresses you out, and other times it's when you're having fun with your friends. So there's two different spectrums to when you drink. So it might be interesting to see via the line graph how it all kind of correlates together.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful, especially because, like I said, there was nothing kind of to remind me. And I mean, let's be honest, I'm always on my phone. Your phone is always with you, by your side. So I think it definitely would be interesting to kind of see. I mean, and to just kind of see like how many times a day, maybe, on which day I'm feeling a certain way, and then maybe that might lead into a way to be able to fix it.
Definitely. And even though the last week you didn't necessarily, take notes and everything of your self-monitoring, did you happen to notice any patterns with your drinking the last week? Like, did it seem to increase or decrease from our last session, kind of stay the same? Did you notice more instances of, uncomfortable drinking or more social drinking? Just kind of, internally, what kind of did you notice about your drinking habits?
Well, since it's towards the end of the semester, I have noticed maybe not even as much social drinking as more like stress drinking.
Right.
So, it's become actually a little bit more drinking with my roommates because we're kind of, all cooped up. And, I mean, I'm still drinking more than them, definitely. But it's become, kind of less social. I think it's just because of the time of the year. People aren't going out as much. Probably staying about the same, though. Maybe decreasing a little bit, but nothing substantially.
Okay, yeah, definitely with, finals coming up and everyone being cooped up in the library, like you said, or at their home studying, definitely a little bit of cabin fever sometimes. And now, something I wanted to inquire about last time also is you said that, like we mentioned before, you drink when you drink when you're stressed or when you're doing homework. Now, when it gets triggered to drink through like doing your homework and all that other kind of stuff, do you still do your homework, or does it kind of go to the wayside? And then, like, does the homework get done while you're drinking? After, does it not get done?
Usually leads to procrastination. I mean, I'm still a student first and foremost. At least I try and think of myself that way. So I won't do it while I'm drinking. I won't do it, while I'm excessively drinking. Maybe I'll start it and then I'll get more preoccupied with drinking, so I'll stop doing my homework. I will go back to it, but it doesn't actually. It's probably not as productive as if I were to just actually continue it and kind of lay off the drinking, finish it, and then maybe drink afterwards.
Right.
So
now, through what you've said to me now, which is, you get uncomfortable, buy homework, and then you drink, then the homework just gets put off for a little while at least. And that is kind of, I was thinking of another thing you said last week, which kind of relates to that in a way. And during one of our last sessions, you talked about how when you're going out with friends, for example, you sneak shots, kind of drink when they're not drinking to get on the same level as them. However, at the same time, you made mention that you're trying to get on the same level as them, and you're drinking way more than them, is what you said. And this, when I was thinking about it, it's kind of a paradox in itself, because you're drinking to keep on the same level as them, but then in the same instance say that you're drinking more than them, then that's a problem. And kind of in the same vein as the homework, where you get uncomfortable because of the homework, then you drink, but then it causes more stress from not having the homework done and having less time to do it. So I don't know if you ever thought about it that way, or if you have any, if you've ever kind of looked at it in that light before.
No, I really haven't. I mean, both of them together, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, I definitely, I'm super stressed out, so I think that's, why I'm drinking, even in social situations or in homework situations. But, I mean, I guess that you bring up a pretty good point that it, doesn't make sense that I drink to get on their level, but then I have to drink so much more to get on their level.
Now, something that might help you, because from what I realize, you're trying to, like you said, get on the same level as them. Kind of in your head, that's where everything is at. Maybe one thing you could do, I know it may kind of seem weird, as before, if you were taking out like a pen and paper and doing it, but like I said, even when everyone's together, people are on their phone. And it might be sensible to maybe tag along with a friend, like not tag along with a friend, but get a friend with you and kind of keep track of what you're drinking, what your friend is drinking, and then kind of compare them.
Yeah, that would probably make sense and would definitely probably help lessen my drinking, because it would almost, I don't even want to say it would be someone else would be responsible for it, but that would definitely allow me to almost kind of hold myself responsible.
Exactly.
Because I don't really think about the amount of drinks that I'm taking. I just think about, okay, well, where is this person as opposed, how are they acting? What are they, how is their energy level? And then I just try and match that. So I think that would help.
Sometimes it's so hard to tell too, because alcohol has different effects on everyone. Some people may drink a lot and get really amped up and get really excited, while some people may drink a lot and just be completely down and like get really upset. So it all depends on like their mindset, and especially if you're not that person, it's really hard to kind of tell what other people are thinking, And one of the other things I wanted to bring up also, when we were talking about, kind of with that app, kind of seeing what times you want to drink and kind of like what causes that urge to drink, instead of maybe turning to drinking, you might want to think of other hobbies that you might not, might have kind of turned to the wayside for a little bit, because I know when I went to college, a lot of hobbies I had in high school kind of fell to the wayside. Like I was in AP Studio Art, and I used to draw and do all this other kind of stuff. And when I came to college, I was like, oh, I have to make new friends and do all this other stuff, and that kind of fell to the wayside. And after I graduated, I found that I had all this free time, and I was kind of, well, what did I used to like to do? And now I had the time for it again. And not that, that's also advice for when you graduate and you may find yourself at that time, but it's also advice for now, where if you are trying to cut down the drinking, you are going to have that extra time of, you know, what did I used to do now? You know, it's kind of like what can I fill this time with? And you may be able to think of more constructive ways to fill that void instead of drinking.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely used to do a lot more. I think I just kind of used to be more active in general in high school. I mean, my thought process when I came into college was you got to make friends, do everything with your friends, everything's about your friends, your college friends are going to be around for life. So I didn't really think about, I guess I just kind of haven't really focused on myself.
Right.
So definitely will take a venture back into my high school days and pick back up some of those.
Yeah, it's definitely like, it's good to add on to your life and make new friends and all that stuff, but you also don't want to lose yourself along with it, because, you know, if you don't know yourself and you don't know what you like, then I'm not trying to put it as, you know, the only reason you should do this is for others, but it's almost like the other person's getting cheated out of knowing who you really are. Like if you don't know what you like to do and everything, then how are they going to know? Like, you know, you may have something in common that you don't even know or talk about just because they don't know what you really like to do, because drinking has become such a big vehicle in your friendship that that's all that really brings you guys together.
Right. It might even it could even strengthen some relationships that I, you know, maybe have seen. Like with my roommates, you know, it's nice in the beginning because I can sit down and talk with them about things that, you know, and I've learned some things about them just in the short period of time that I didn't know before, and I've been living with them for, you know, how long. So
yeah, exactly.
Definitely could open up some relationships.
Yeah. Yes, that was like 7 minutes.